real estate investing fools. I have a special treat for you today. I'm speaking with Ben Caballero, who is the current Guinness World Record title holder and #1 ranked real estate agent in the United States since 2013, according to Real Trends. He set a new record for home sales last year. He individually sold 6,438 homes worth more than $2.46 billion in 2020. Well, Ben, how do you keep doing this? It's amazing.
Well, of course, I specialize in a certain type of customer, which is home builders and the production home builders. And then I have a platform that we developed in '07 and have continually refined it, and still in the process of improving it every opportunity we have. And so we remove a lot of the duplication that a builder would have to do in order to maintain the accuracy and the speed of a number of listings. It's just a very efficient process. We have a 13-minute turnaround average for a request that it takes 13 minutes on average to get them into MLS. So that's just something that we have dedicated ourselves to, and we the result is we have about 60 builders in Texas and 4 markets. Actually, we've expanded into some other smaller markets also, but the main markets are the Texas big cities: Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas-Fort Worth.
Well, interesting. From an investor perspective, I've been watching the home builder stocks over the last year. It's been kind of crazy watching how big the home building boom has gotten in the past year or so. Do you think this current situation is going to last?
We have a very big shortfall. I estimate, based on my analysis of the U.S. Census, about a 5.5 million unit shortage in homes. And there's no way that builders are going to be able to immediately resolve that. Right now, we built just under 1 million homes last year, and the builders just cannot ramp up to solve a $5.5 million unit shortage. It's going to take them, my estimate, if they increase production every year by 10%, it's going to take them to 2028 in order to achieve equilibrium in the market. And I have that written up on my website. If you or anyone wants to see it, it's at homesusa.com/shortage. And there's a very detailed article there where we analyze the census data, do the projection, and give the causes and that sort of thing. So it's, I think, a pretty informative article. We've got a lot of compliments on it.
Great. Well, you specialize in Texas. I know population in Texas has been booming. Last year, I think the story was everyone in California moving to Austin, moving to Dallas. What's happening with housing developments, and which areas do you think are seeing the most buzz?
Well, of course, Austin is head and shoulders above. I think I saw somewhere where their appreciation was like 42%. And the other markets, Dallas, I think, was 22%. Houston was 19%. And San Antonio, I believe, was about 20% also. Austin is just got so much going for it. They have the University of Texas there, which is a very large enrollment. They have the state capitol there. They have, it's become a new Silicon Valley in Texas. Elon Musk is building his new Cybertruck facility there, manufacturing facility. So it's also probably, well, certainly not largest Houston or Dallas Fort Worth. So the comparable growth that we would have here in Dallas would cause, if they had that same growth in Austin, it would cause it to have a significantly greater impact on inventory and pricing due to the demand.
That makes sense. I know you were a builder for a long time. Lumber is becoming the big story right now. What do you think about the current very, very high prices of lumber, copper, other commodities related to home building?
The COVID situation, the COVID shutdown caused manufacturers to shut down or greatly reduce, if not shut down, their capacity. And then when that happens, people, the employees, some of them just don't come back. And so it's a ramping up process, and you just can't do that overnight. That's going to be probably a year or so before we can get staff back up. And lumber is particularly vulnerable. They had forest fires in Canada, which restricted supply. We had floods in Louisiana, which affected our logging ability there. The consequences of COVID has not only affected lumber, but all the other commodities, appliances, windows. It's just a very, very difficult situation for home builders to deal with.
It's true. In terms of development right now, are you seeing communities being built further and further away from the major hubs? And do you feel like, is there any concern that we're going to have a situation similar to the great financial crisis where then people move back towards cities?
I don't think it's going to be ever like it was. The remote work, people working from home, I think has to some degree changed the way that we look at work and the way that we're business travel. I was watching TV the other day, the financial news, and they are predicting that business travel will never get back to where it was. You don't have to go to. We've proven that you don't have to go to a meeting, and you and I are doing it right now. We don't have to be face to face to have an interview. People are going to be moving to where they want to be rather than where they have to be, and this is good because land is cheaper the further out you go, and builders are building communities that have amenities that heretofore were not available. It is a changing situation that COVID has had some positive effects as well as a negative.
Did you see an uptick in demand on your individual site during the pandemic, and when did that start to pick up for you?
Well, our business is essentially listing homes in MLS for builders so that the realtor community can have them for their buyers. We don't represent buyers as such because we're representing the builders as the owner. So our business, we had the best April ever, April of last year. And we had a fairly good year, but as inventory and lots and so forth and demand has increased so strongly that builders are not needing to list homes in MLS. As a matter of fact, they are all kinds of variations of trying to modify the demand to build at the pace that their suppliers and land and everything will allow them. And so what happens is like I have a builder that they only release 3 homes per month, and they only sell 2 in the first part of the month and 1 the last part of the month. I have other builders with 5. We had a builder a couple of weeks ago that had 30 homes. And so they just said, everybody that's interested in one of these homes, come and see us at 10 o'clock on Saturday. And we will give you a number based on where you are in line, and we will have a lottery. And they sold out the homes all that day. There's just all kinds of variations of people that our builders are doing to moderate or mitigate the demand to comply with their ability to supply it.
Yes, the scramble is just crazy. Are any of these builders working with investors right now? Because we're seeing the single family rental trend gaining ground really fast. Is that something that's factoring in with your home builders?
Builders don't need to really work with investors on an individual basis. They would probably prefer, or they would prefer to deal with people that are going to be living in the owners that are living in the homes. But I did hear of a situation in Houston or in a community north of Houston, I think Conroe, where an investment company bought out the entire subdivision and is turning it into rentals, which is, is a shocking development. But that's just a very unique situation. I don't know. And the builder made out like a bandit, from what I understand. They their profit was not reduced at all. As a matter of fact, they claimed to have made more money doing that than they would have if they had sold them individually. They don't have a lot of retail people to deal with. They don't have individual sales. They didn't have, probably their sales and marketing costs was much reduced. So that went to the bottom line.
Interesting. So just to wrap up, what do you see for the next year? Obviously, last year was sort of a very odd year. What are you forecasting for the future?
I think more of the same until we are able to get the supply, all the materials that go into home, copper, appliances, glass, lumber, roofing materials, sheetrock, all of it is to some degree, supply is greatly restricted. And until that happens, we will not be able to, our builders will not be able to increase supply enough to keep up with the demand. And of course, we have a very large pent up demand that was created by the shortfall that has been going on in building for years. It now has reached a point that is historic, really. I've been in the business many years, and I know other people that no one has seen anything like this. And it's just unfortunate that that buyers are having to deal with it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and congratulations on another record. It's really amazing.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to give my whatever I can add to the situation. And like I say, if somebody wants to see more detail, they can go to homesusa.com/shortage and really get some good information.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.